It is. If you go, hi, I'm Purvi Kemp. How are you?
Purvi?
Nice to meet
Eris,
you.
nice to meet
Eris,
you.
welcome.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you so
you.
much.
Okay,
I'm
how
Purvi
are
Kemp.
you?
Very nice to meet you. So, yeah, they're actually liking.
Hello, how
How
are
you
you?
doing?
Good to see you. Thanks for coming. No.
Do you know where the closest restaurant is by chance?
Yeah, straight.
Right out here. You'll see it once you pass this door.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know about Linda. I haven't seen her yet.
How are you? Doing well? No. So just make
Here
sure.
it is, right here.
Oh, that, yeah, no. I couldn't read it, so like,
But it's 2
let me
feet.
just,
Okay, go
let me just tell you. I'm gonna do this,
So
and then I'm
all
gonna
the
do,
panelists,
I don't think there's anything to be done here. I'm not gonna get up and do anything here. So if there's
No,
something
I'll
you
do
wanna
that,
do,
I'll do that.
you do that, cause I'm not
so when
doing
she
that.
calls you up for the,
And
She
then,
needs her mic. She needs her own
I'll
stuff.
get that before. The keynote she's gonna do from here.
Oh,
So,
nobody else is speaking on this mic but her. That's the
Right.
whole point of me getting all these mics. So everybody's not using the same
I
mic.
guess you would still stand here then, however you wanna do it. But when you're on the panel, you'll sit.
You
And
have
that's
your-
when I'll give her your
That's
own.
her whole mic. Oh, that's right. They
Because
can't
it's
have
not
2
sitting.
because it'll reverberate.
Exactly, so.
Right. But make
So
sure
just-
what's your name when she finishes her thing that he's back here with her mic up.
Here's an extra Yeah, mic like right here. all the,
Your mic is there?
there's a mic in each chair for
Oh.
each person.
yeah, it's for,
So
it's for these
Okay.
chairs.
You know how to put that on?
Yeah, I'm just gonna flip it in the back and call it a
Go
day.
ahead, big time. You big time. You
so
know
that's
this.
do what I'm told, and I won't turn it on until he tells me.
So.
Okay.
But I got it. We got it. Good morning. So much here for DC 2022. And I will introduce your MC for the morning, none other than the incomparable, the dynamic, energetic Deputy Director for the DC Health Exchange, Ms. Kemp. Let's welcome her, everybody. That's perfect.
Good morning, everybody. How is everyone doing this morning? Excellent. I actually heard people's voices. Excellent. I appreciate that. And you know, one of the things we love to do is get you all together. We've been doing it for 7 years now with POWERUP DC. Yes, that's 7 years. Thank you for all of your support and your energy in joining us here today. I know you braved many things to get here today, not the smallest of which is road closures, because they just had to throw that one in for fun. So really, you give yourselves a round of applause for being here, and then I really, really, really want you to take a moment to appreciate with me that we're all together. We're sitting next to people who've come together to learn a little today, to grow their small businesses, and we're here to do whatever we can to provide information, to provide support. So let's start with a round of applause for everyone we're going to hear coming up. And one of the best parts of POWERUP DC is the connections that you can make today, whether it be related to capital or growth or mentorship, learning how to grow your staff, all of the different things it takes to be a small business entrepreneur. So I do want you to be able to, and some of you will be able to do it a little easier than others, but take a moment right now. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to stand up and introduce yourself to someone around you. Just, fist bump, tell them who you are, tell them who you're here with, and then say hello to them when you see them later today. So let's take 30 seconds to do that. Actually, they came down and told me. Excellent, excellent. Now that was really energetic, can I say? And you know what that says to me? All right, folks, I know this energy is ready to go, and you know what your energy says to me? You have a lot to say, and you have a lot to share. And that is why we bring people together. This is the reason we're together in this room, and this is the reason we're doing it for the 7th year in a row. So let me just say again, I'm Purvi Kempf. Oh, and apparently not the right mic. I'm Purvi Kempf. I'm here with the DC Health Benefit Exchange Authority, again known as DC HealthLink. That's, I'm sure, what you've heard. That is who we are, and we are here as our district's small business marketplace, offering health insurance and keeping people financially and health secure, and helping you give your employees the things they need to grow and thrive. And so we welcome you here today. We have, our program is gonna highlight numerous things. We're gonna start with ways to access capital, both traditional and non-traditional. You're gonna hear from experts on the latest trends and how small businesses have successfully navigated the pandemic and what they're doing as that next step to transition and to grow. What I want to start with is a thank you. We're proud of the business leadership and depth of expertise that are going to be presented today, whether you're doing it in a plenary session with a panelist, or you're doing it in a speed networking session at the end of the day where you get to talk to someone one-on-one. You know, none of this would have been possible without the support of our partners. So really, really big thanks to our business partners, the DC Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Washington Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the Restaurant Association of Metropolitan Washington, and of course, our media partners here, Washington Business Journal and the Washington Informer. Really thank all of them. And then this isn't complete without acknowledging, of course, our POWERUP Brain Trust, which is comprised of numerous DC agencies, federal partners, community partners, and professional associations. And it's all of their interest and expertise that we've pooled together to help you here today. So we really sincerely thank you for your hard work and your tremendous partnership to the Brain Trust. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and move us directly to our morning panelists. We're gonna start with some welcoming remarks. We're gonna go ahead, and right now, this is really the best thing we're able to do is go ahead and start talking about where we are, because I can't believe that you have not noticed, as I have, this gorgeous room, this beautiful library, being hosted here at the MLK Library as it's opening up. Richard Reyes Galvan is here, and he is the head of the DC Public Libraries, and he's been our partner for many, many years. So I'm gonna go ahead from the very beginning, and I'm gonna have him welcome you to the library.
Thanks. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the beautifully modernized Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Library. It is a spectacular venue, and I just couldn't think of a better place to host this event. Just quick show of hands, how many of you are in this building for the first time since it's reopened? That's most of you, and that's exciting for me because if you get a chance today, and I hope you do, don't just take in this beautiful auditorium and that great outdoor space, but explore the entirety of this building, all 6 floors, and you will see spaces that were built with entrepreneurs and small businesses in mind. Conference rooms, meeting spaces, get to know a little bit about DC Public Library Services, the online magazines that we buy so people can access them for free, the classes that we offer. We really are trying to specialize in the needs of people who, many of whom are just like you, I'm guessing. People who are starting their own businesses and are looking to save money everywhere and every possible way they can. And that's what libraries do these days. We're not just this transactional space where you come and borrow a book and leave. We're really here to help people get a leg up at whatever stage that they happen to be in. So that's my plug for the beautiful MLK Library and all the great things that are happening at DC Public Library. I do want to just echo that we have been a great partner of DC HealthLink for years in their efforts to get people the insurance that they need to keep this city healthy. And I'm really excited about doing this event because in addition to providing health care, supporting the needs of small businesses is something that we are all aligned over. So with that, please do enjoy the rest of your day in the building. Promise me you'll come back. We've also got just things, if you've got kids, we've got a phenomenal new children's room. We've got a playground slide. You may have seen that when you walked into the building. It's a lot of fun. You're allowed to take it as adults, but be mindful that it's pretty fast, depending on the type of clothing that you're wearing. And we've got just also some beautiful exit. How many local DC residents do we have here? Native Washingtonians? We have got some of the most amazing stories here on either side of this auditorium on the 4th floor. On the wing to the west, we've got stories about Dr. King, but not Dr. King, the national figure, Dr. King as a local figure, concentrating on the people who influenced him, who were in DC, and those he influenced in DC. And then on the gallery over to the east, we've got lots of stories about culture in DC, everything from go-go music to Marion Barry as a person, as opposed to sort of a mayor. So lots and lots of things for you to do here. I invite you all to come back and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you, Director, and thank you for having us here. We're going to have you look up there for a short video from our Executive Director of DC HealthLink to just welcome you.
We at DC HealthLink are excited to help empower the district's small businesses and nonprofits.
Power Up DC, a national small business week forum hosted by DC HealthLink, its business partners, the media partner Washington Business Journal, and its 13-member small business brain trust.
More than half of Americans either own or work for a small business. They create 2 out of every 3 new jobs. Small business is where it's at.
DC HealthLink is also proud of the support from members of the DC HealthLink Small Business Brain Trust, who work daily to support and empower DC small businesses.
This is a fantastic time of year for all of our entrepreneurs and all the organizations that support small businesses across the country.
This is an event where we are bringing information to small businesses, from companies that want to open doors to companies that want to grow.
An event like this one is really important to the economy of DC because, as we all know, small business is the driver of the economy.
We've saved businesses thousands of dollars in health insurance premiums a month, so please come check us out. And the second most important thing is to make sure you avail yourself of the networking opportunities, meeting other small businesses, as well as meeting the expert panelists that we have for everyone, and doing the 5-minute meet and greets with resources, people who have money to give small businesses. So I hope attendees walk away with all of those things.
DC HealthLink is extremely helpful to be able to provide your employees with access, also as well as some really good encouraging words from other small business owners here in the DC area that really encourages other small businesses to continue their work.
You never know what kind of services you're going to need, so it's good to come and exchange information and learn about everybody else's businesses and what everyone is bringing to the table, basically.
And it's just great to have an opportunity to share with other businesses of DC the kind of opportunities that are here that we can develop.
The information I've gotten so far is above and beyond what I expected.
We've got more work to do, but we're excited that we've got a lot of strong partners here that every day are working hard to support business in our community.
Let's go, DC Power Up.
All right, thank you so much for playing that. So what we're gonna do is just have a few people come up and say hello to you. And the reason for this is we really want you to know who these folks are, why they're here today, and how, and please giving them a moment to welcome you to learn, to find out what they have to offer. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Antonio Das, who's the Deputy Associate Administrator at the U.S. Small Business Administration, and then he'll introduce the speakers from there. So thank you so much, Antonio.
Good morning, everyone. It's a new thing, like removing a mask before you speak. So, so great to be here this morning and to see so many of you here. The Power Up DC conference is, of course, as you see and you'll experience today, is just a fantastic event. This is an event that is held the first week in May, really since 2015. This is also National Small Business Week. And for me, this has been a cornerstone of our Small Business Week experience at the Small Business Administration because we've been able to partner with the DC HealthLink and the Power Up DC conference. And so just glad to be able to participate again in person after having a bit of an absence because of the COVID. This event is also one that, as you heard about the Brain Trust, it's not just one or two people. I mean, for sure, Dr. Linda Wharton-Boyd, kind of drives this whole thing and gets it going. But it is a brain trust of a lot of people who are very committed and interested in your success as an entrepreneur and your success as a business owner. And so you're going to see and be able to gain a lot of information from those who are participating in the sessions, as well as the folks who are staffing the booths out front. So I want to make sure that you definitely take advantage of those things. As an entrepreneur, you're going to do a lot of great things for yourself. You're going to be able to take your business, grow your business by using these resources that are here. And you will employ people. You will provide innovative solutions, products and services and such to whoever your customer base is, whether it's the federal government, DC government, or individual or businesses. You're going to have those opportunities. You're going to have opportunities to partner. But one of the key things I think you're also going to have an opportunity to do, which you may not even be focused on, is you're going to be an inspiration for people who are watching you from the sidelines to see just what you've done and how you're doing it. And that will help propel more people to choose the route of entrepreneurship and business ownership, and not always just rely on the model that I had coming up, which was you get a job with the biggest employer you possibly can, and you stay there for as many years as it takes to get a watch and for them to sing for "He's a Jolly Good Fellow," and then that's it. So there's a new model, and this is what drives the American economy. It's the small business component of it, and so you're vital to that, and the Small Business Administration is really here to help support you with that. We have tremendous resource partner support. I know today we have our Small Business Development Center. I saw Charles Mott and Yodit and some others who are here to help you. We also have a Women's Business Center. We have SCORE mentors. All of these programs are free business coaching, you and one coach, one-on-one. So you could pay somebody to do that, or you could take advantage of the federal services that exist to help you. And there are some other services even outside of what we do in the federal space. take advantage of those things. They're there to help you not make as many mistakes as you would normally make if you just did everything by yourself. These folks work with businesses day in and day out. They know a lot about how to help steer you in the right direction. And sometimes you just need a sounding board, somebody who can say, tell me a little bit more about why you're choosing that path, and help you to think it through. So I really encourage you to take advantage of those programs we have. The other thing I just want to touch base on, in my current role in our Office of Government Contracting and Business Development, we've been forging our way towards a lot of developments to make procurement opportunities more available to small disadvantaged businesses. Last June, President Biden spoke on this very topic, and he said we are going to triple our goal for contracts with small disadvantaged businesses. So tripling it from 5% to 15%. Our agency has already negotiated with the major federal agencies a goal increase for this year so that everybody will collectively help us get to 11% as we stair-step our way up to 25% or up to 15% by 2025. So that is big news. We're focused on it. The important thing is that we're not just focused on hitting the number, we're really interested in bringing in what we call new entrants, people who have not had a federal contract as a prime contractor before. So we're interested in you. We're putting in place programs and initiatives to help attract you, to help you identify what the opportunities, and to help you be able to be in a position to seize those opportunities and to deliver on it and to grow your business. Because if you think about it, when's the last time the federal government budget has gone down? You know, it is a growth market right here in front of us, and you're right in the hotbed of it right here in DC. So we want you to know that we're committed to it, so much so that at the executive levels of all the federal agencies, we all now have in our performance plan, our personal goals, says we got to hit these numbers. So that's a huge commitment on the government's part, and we are definitely poised to deliver on that. We're already starting to see some success in some innovative thinking from our federal government partners. So highly encourage you to take advantage of all of the services, whether SBA has to offer, whether it's our capital access programs, whether it's the coaching and mentoring support that I mentioned earlier, or creating your new revenue stream through federal contracting. We are here to help you. We have great programs and services. I didn't even mention our online services, but I should have, including a new Ascent learning platform that's designed for women. Guys can take it too, but it's designed for women, and it's full of really, really great information. Another free resource, along with all the other great resources on our website. So we're here. Use us, please. So I'm going to conclude my remarks at this point, and I get the opportunity to introduce Ms. Sabangely Cook, who is the Director of Small Business Development in the Office of the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development. So Sabangely, please come on up.
All right, good morning. How's everybody doing? Yes, glad you're here. On behalf of the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development, Deputy Mayor Falchicchio, I bring you greetings. I'm not him, but what I will do is I will start my comments with a phrase that he usually ends his comments with, and that is, DC is open. Does anybody agree with that? Yes? I didn't hear it. Does everybody agree with that? Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Antonio. My name is Sabangely Cook. I am the Director of Business Development and Strategy in the Deputy Mayor's Office of Planning and Economic Development, and I'm always extremely excited to come to this event. I've been coming to this event personally since 2015. I actually saw myself a couple of times on that video. Very excited to be here. Let me talk about why I'm super excited about being here. Is because I get to talk to you all. There's a panel that's going to come up, so I don't want to, leak any gems that we'll talk about in that panel. But what's more exciting to me is it's an opportunity to truly talk to everyone here face to face. Talk about the different opportunities, resources, tips, whatever the case may be. This event has always yielded some positive and great results and great relationships that we've been able to have with small businesses. Also, it's an opportunity for me to connect with all of my agency partners and external partners as well. So with that, like I said, I was going to keep it very brief. I am excited to be here. Welcome. Can't wait to speak to you all, whether it's during a break or during the panel session. So welcome, everybody.
Time to demask. Good morning, everyone. My name is Charles Mott. I'm with the DC Small Business Development Center Network. I have to admit, I'm a little nervous. For the past 2 years, the only thing I've been saying in public settings is through webinars, and that is, welcome to the webinar. So it's good to actually see real faces and be here in person. The DC Small Business Development Center is a SBA resource partner. We've been around for 43 years. We're at Howard University. We have 2 additional centers, full-time centers, and we're part of the network that Antonio talked about that supports small business in DC. We've been doing this for a while. We have a range of counselors that provide a variety of services to support small business. In 2020, during the pandemic, we serviced or provide counseling to 794 small businesses in DC. In fact, I was talking to my colleague, and she alone had over 140 clients that she serviced by herself. So we've been fairly busy during the pandemic and continue to do so. And we're here to help you, as Antonio said. We're one of the several resource partners that are out here, including SCORE and also the Women Business Centers. We're the boots on the ground to support SBDC's goals and missions. The SBDC is proud to be a member of the DC Brain Trust to support this event. I also wanted to welcome you on behalf of the Brain Trust and would like to recognize the Brain Trust team whose tireless efforts made this event possible. And for the Brain Trust members who are here, could you raise your hand to let us know you're here? And please definitely give them a hand. This is a labor of love for those who support small business in DC. Each one of the participant Brain Trust organizations touches DC small business in their own unique and valued way and is a part of a vibrant small business support network in DC. DC is one of the best places to be if you're a small business. There's so many different resources out there. And oftentimes we even have to come together to let each other know what all of us are doing because we're supporting so many different activities. For the pre-venture, established business, nonprofit, faith-based, and women-owned small businesses, we hope that today's event will help you grow and sustain your organization, possibly through a new best practice you may learn today, a lesson learned from an existing business, or a key strategic contact that you make today. I'll leave you with a quote that is one of the quotes that really hits home for me and for many of the clients that we serve. And it's from Jim Rohn. Success is nothing but a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And I hope there's a few things that you learn today will help you grow and sustain and be one of the star businesses in DC. And now, I have the pleasure, I'm keeping my remarks brief too, and I have the pleasure of introducing Ms. Eris Scales. Thank you.
I'm not Miss Aries Scales. I don't know where Aries is, but you know, it's fine. She's a good friend and a great support of this community. My name is Angela Franco. I'm the president and CEO of the DC Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here this morning representing the business partners of the DC Health Benefit Exchange Authority, that are the Restaurant Association, the Greater Washington Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and the DC Chamber. And our responsibility, I mean, I started really when the exchange started. I was the president of the Hispanic Chamber then. And really, the effort that this organization has done in reaching out to businesses is great. Health insurance is key for all of our businesses, and they have only focused not only in making sure that insurance gets to every business, but also that they provide information on the business front and opportunities for you. Like Charles said, really supporting businesses is a labor of love. I now have the opportunity to run the DC Chamber, and the Chambers of Commerce are great for your business if you're looking into growing your business, looking for opportunities. And with the DC Chamber of Commerce, if you want to get involved also in legislation and policy, that is a key part of growing your business, and is really, you know, I've learned how important it is to really know what goes on, what legislation we're putting forward that can affect your business. So I'm here to help. I'm a big cheerleader of the business community. I've been involved in this community for over 20 years, doing lending, technical assistance, and now, you know, having the opportunity to run the most important business organization in the district. I thank DC HealthLink and Linda and Purvi and Mila Kaufman and Iru and the whole leadership team for the incredible support that you have given not only the business partners, but the business community at large. So you have great speakers this morning. You're gonna have an amazing speaker this morning, and then a lot of panelists. So enjoy, really take the best out of it, and really what I'm gonna leave you with, in that there's a lot of us that are here cheering up for you, and we're here to support you. So just count on that. Thank you so much, and I don't know if Aries comes next, or who, Linda? Oh, okay. So now, so I'm gonna do that introduction. Let me do it. So now our next speaker is Eduardo Perdomo. He's the director of the Mayor's Office of Latino Affairs, and you know, a great representation of the Latino community in the District of Columbia, extremely engaged. And just yesterday, he wanted to do a call and see how we could support the growth of our business community together. So Eduardo, thank you so much, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Gracias, Angela. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you for having me here today. On behalf of Mayor Muriel Bowser, I would like to welcome you to the 7th event here with DC HealthLink. And I want you to think about what actually makes us unique here in America. I'm an immigrant myself. I came here 8 years ago, and I'm the first self-identified Afro-Latino to ever lead the Mayor's Office on Latino Affairs in 45 years of existence. And diversity is what actually sets apart America, and diversity in the business creation and the way we approach the problem resolution is one of the things that is going to keep us, setting us apart of the rest of the world. And Mayor Bowser understands this. She has put diversity and inclusion in the forefront of the policy designs and implementation of how do we support our local small business owners. Just to say a few things about of examples, like last year and this year, and I know that my colleague Sabangely knows about this, $100 million invested through the Bridge Fund to support the recovery and post-recovery process. And how do we do this? We have to do this in an inclusionary way. And at the Office on Latino Affairs, we're more than happy to walk and connect small business owners, which 34% of Latino business owners represent in the last 10 years, 34% of the creation of new businesses nationwide is something to highlight. So I would like you to think of this: diversity, inclusion, and lastly, I know that Sabangely started this with DC's open. So please have fun in DC. We're open for business and we're open for services. And please go to my office if you need anything. We are 14 and new, located Northwest, 45 years, Office on Latino First, serving the community. So please stop by. We're more than happy to help. Thank you very much.
David? We could not do this without our media partners, and we have David Walker here from the Washington Business Journal, along with Janice Rolock-Barnes from the Washington Informer.
Morning, everybody. How is everyone this morning? Great. It was going really well until traffic hit, but that's a whole other story. So I'm really, really pleased to be here this morning. I'm David Walker with the Washington Business Journal. I'm even more pleased to be able to do this in person. The Washington Business Journal has worked with DC HealthLink since 2015, and I want to personally thank Dr. Linda Wharton-Boyd for her support and her friendship in cementing this relationship. Thank you, Linda. When you consider what our small businesses have gone through over the past 2+ years, it's an awful lot. From shutdowns, to having to policing mask mandates, to having to navigate PPP loans. So something like this as a resource for small business is super important and critical for the success of the economy of Greater Washington. The Washington Business Journal, now I'm on the sales and marketing side of the house, but Vandana Sinha and her team of reporters do an excellent job and have done an excellent job in writing about small businesses before the pandemic and during. In 2020, after we didn't realize we weren't going to go home after 2 weeks, right? The Washington Business Journal's parent company, American City Business Journals in Charlotte, North Carolina, tasked each of the newsrooms to cover 4 small businesses in their region over a 4-part series. That became Small Business Big Mission and was really well received as a resource for small businesses to learn from each other. We continue this, and in 2022, on page 5 every week if you're a subscriber, and I hope you are, and if you're not, come and see me afterwards. Maybe I can do a little something for you. We have a small business profile where, again, we look at small businesses through the lens of the business community, how they are coming out of the pandemic and how they're pivoting. So again, I'll keep it brief also. I want to thank DC Health Exchange. I want to thank all the other partners, media partners, and the Brain Trust, and hope you guys all have a great day. Thanks very much.
Good morning. I'm Denise Rolock-Barnes, publisher of the Washington Informer newspaper, and as well, very, very happy to be here this morning and to be a part of this program. I want to thank Dr. Linda Boyd for making sure that we are included and to have the opportunity to speak to you all as small businesses in the DMV. Charles Mott said earlier that one thing he's grown accustomed to saying that he's glad he doesn't have to say today, but I'm going to say it and emphasize it. Unmute yourself. We are here today not to be muted, but to really get to know each other, to ask questions, to learn, to make sure that we leave this event, as one individual I just met a few minutes ago said, to take something away from this event that will really help to support us in our businesses. I'm just going to tell a really quick story, try to make it quick. The Washington Informer was started by my dad in 1964. We actually were 2 blocks from here, 715 G Street. So I watched the first library here being built, and it's almost like a proud mother to see it grow into what it is today. But when my dad died in '94 and I took over the newspaper as publisher, one of the challenges that I had as an owner of a business was how do I provide benefits for my staff? We didn't have benefit. My benefit was housing, dinner, a down payment on a car, tuition for college. That was the benefit I got from my dad from working with this publication with him. But once he passed it on to me, then I had to figure out, what do I do for my employees? And one of my biggest challenges was providing health insurance. I didn't have it for myself. I didn't have it for my staff. And a girlfriend of mine who owned her own business, she and I got together and said, let's invest in a health insurance policy that we both can share the cost with. Well, she went out of business, and I couldn't afford the policy on my own. So for several years, we still didn't have health insurance, and it's hard to bring on good employees when you cannot provide the benefits. And I thank God for two things. One, for President Barack Obama, for making sure that we have a health care policy or a health care system that we not only were required to invest in, but was affordable. And then for the District of Columbia, the mayor, and the Department of Health to create the DC health program that we are all invested in today. It was difficult because we were required to have health insurance, but at the same time, it was a blessing because it was affordable. And now I can proudly say I am covering 11, I only have 11 employees, all 11 are covered. And and I thank this program for allowing me to do that. So I think, we're here today to try to figure out what are some of the things that we can do to become more successful at what we do, but how we can build communities, how we can support families, how we can purchase homes and provide college education for our children, to do all the things that we think will help to grow and benefit this community. I hope this is a great segue for our speaker that's about to come forward, but I want to thank you all and just know that you're not in this alone.
Okay, everybody, how we doing? I hope you feel greeted this morning. I have a little something for you before we go to the next thing. When I say power up, you say DC. Got that? All right. Okay. I say power up, you say DC. Power up. DC. Power up. DC. When I say power up, you say DC. Power up. DC. Power up. DC. When I say power up, you say DC. Power up. DC. Power up. DC. All right, so you got the hang of it. Now, thank you. Okay. 20 pounds that we gained. They said COVID-19. I say COVID-20. 20 pounds we gained during 2 years. Okay. When I say power up, you say DC. Power up. DC. Power up. DC. When I say power All right, one last time for the road. When I say power up, you say DC. Power up. DC. Power up. DC. Power up. DC. Power up. DC. Thank you. Okay, that's your exercise for the day. Okay. It's my pleasure to introduce to you a woman who has been in this region for a while. She has committed herself to helping the underserved in this community. She has committed herself to small business. She has committed herself to women, multicultural issues, social justice issues. She's a woman for the season. Help me to welcome none other than my soror, Rosie Allen Herring from the United Way.
So good morning, everyone. Oh, now, you all just finished standing up, sitting down, because Linda Warden Boyd, who is a powerhouse all by herself. So good morning. It is indeed a pleasure to be with you. And as she said, I am Rosie Allen Herring, President and Chief Executive Officer of your United Way. Thank you to Director Kaufman and the entire team, including the Brain Trust that brings us here today. As Dr. Boyd shared, it really is a pleasure to be with you in person. When Administrator Doss shared and Mr. Mott shared, we are all used to, in the last 2 years, of having to tell ourselves to unmute. And we don't have to worry about that today. We just have to speak up. And it really is a relief to be with human beings, because I believe that as humans, we need each other in order to not only feed off of each other, but to give each other energy, and that's where we get our best genius. So while the circumstances for the last 2 years have been like none other, and I will not be before you long because I know we have a great panel, it really is telling you about the extra dose of advantages that we've had to gain as we've gone through the last 2 years. None of us saw COVID coming. None of us did. And when we found ourselves in a moment, none of us could have anticipated that it would last as long as it has. And I say it has because we're still very much in the moment. While it may be lower in some cases, it may not be at the epic levels that it's been at previously, we still find ourselves even masking up now, still trying to ensure we stay safe, and still trying to ensure that we keep our families as well as our colleagues as small business owners safe as well. So some of us have had our patience tested. How many of you have had your patience tested in the last 2 years? Oh yeah, I see those hands up, yeah. We've had to become assistant teachers for our children. We've become the lunchroom ladies for our children. We've had to share a story or two with colleagues who needed sometimes emotional support. We've had to manage through truly unprecedented times. The number of times we've had to pivot to keep our communities safe and our businesses strong has been countless. Especially our small businesses here in the region, you've had to shift the way that you're even doing business. When the pandemic hit in 2020, business owners, or really our sole practitioners or proprietorships, mom and pop stores, and all entrepreneurs in between were in jeopardy. According to the DC Policy Center, the immediate impact and concerns of the pandemic for small business owners were a loss of customers, revenue, the need for immediate expenses, support in terms of rent, payroll, insurance premiums, and basic expenses. We know that many of our small businesses, and Ms. Rolock Barnes, who is also a good friend, talked about this was an episode or an epidemic before COVID. What we're finding really, COVID has simply exacerbated many of the existing issues that were here, many of the existing inequities that were here before COVID ever came. It simply put a light on it because there's not a soul on earth who has not been impacted by COVID. Some, of course, disproportionately more than others, but certainly everyone has had their life disrupted in some shape, form, or fashion because of COVID. So if anything, it told us that we were all equally, quote unquote, vulnerable, but many of us were more vulnerable than others. So in your United Way, many people think of us as United Way. You've been around for over 100 years. Aren't you all the $100 per pay period payroll deduction people that then just sends the money to my kids' soccer team? And no, we can do that, but that's not who we are. We are a convener, collaborator, and catalyst, doing our best to convene, meaning we work with partners such as the Brain Trust here and all of our partners, including the DC Chamber of Commerce, as well as the DC Policy Institute, as well as, of course, DC Policy Link as well. We are a collaborator, meaning that we do absolutely nothing alone. We only do it in partnerships with others, be it the nonprofit sector, the for-profit sector, corporate businesses, faith community, you name it, we partner. That is who we do, how we do it. And we have to be catalytic. We have to be catalytic in bringing innovative thought leadership solutions to some of the toughest challenges that are facing our region. And that is how we've tried to maintain what we do, even during COVID. An example of a small business and a partnership that worked well for us during COVID. We had a small catering company that was it had laid off 85% of its staff. We found an anonymous donor who decided to help that particular small business. They made a contribution to United Way for that catering company to be able to bring all of their staff back. And of course, in keeping their kitchens open, it was like, well, where does the food go? Well, we said, what about the first responders? Because many of our first responders at that time, at the height of COVID, were working 24 hours. They were doing double shifts. And we were thinking all the time about, well, what about the clinical professionals? We talk about the doctors and the nurses who were there caring for patients. But what we weren't talking about were the environmental staff in the hospitals, the cafeteria workers in the hospital, all of those individuals that kept those hospitals going 24 hours a day, that cleaned every inch of it. We needed to make certain that we showed them appreciation. So to the environmental staff, we said, you come to work and you do what you do, we're going to make certain that you're fed. Over 8,000 meals were fed to those first responders. Not just the typical ones that we see, but for those who we always don't see. We also had to bring attention to what we called, remember the essential workers? When they were like, who's important, who's got to go to work? Who knew that the grocery store clerk was essential? Until you were in there fighting for that toilet paper and paper towels. Because you needed them to stock those shelves. Who knew? So what this also brought up was many of our small businesses who were doing great work, who are now also needed, and they became essential workers as well. So it basically challenged us to think about not only how we do what we do, but why we do what we do, and how we can do it even better. While the stars aligned for the local catering company that we had the pleasure of working with, we knew that still there were others who did not have that support, who were not able to keep their employees. Some were not even able to keep their doors open. 56% of small businesses were closed in DC, 47% in Maryland, 39%, over a third in Virginia. As the impact of the pandemic hit our region's small businesses financially, we also saw the emotional and physical impact that it had on our neighbors, our friends, our business owners, our families. We have to care and exercise great care for the trust that you've placed in us as your United Way. A Capital One business survey found that 45% of business owners reported that running a small business during the pandemic had a negative effect on their mental well-being. A third said that they weren't even able to get proper sleep. Many felt that they were run down and exhausted. 62% of business owners, because they let staff go, decided to work those hours themselves. So when we consider the impact of the pandemic, we need to look holistically. And what we did on an emergency level, in a short-term fashion, we need to ensure that much of that effort continues. Just because we think that we're quote-unquote trying to get back to normal, we've talked about, and I talked about this last year, this isn't about getting to a new normal. This is about getting to a better normal. Because for so many who have been traditionally disenfranchised, a better normal is all that they can hope for. And so we have to now not get back to where we were, because for so many, where we were wasn't fair in the first place. We have to get to a better normal where equity is indeed the day that we need to move forward towards. So again, we're going to continue to adapt. You're in for a great treat today. We know that the impact of COVID-19, or as Dr. Boyd said, COVID-20, yes, I have my 22, we know that that still lingers with us. We want you to know that health is wealth. And we know that also as your United Way, with the work that we're doing with many of the small businesses through our 5 financial empowerment centers, as Administrator Doss shared, all of our services are free. We fundraise for them every single year. We have them not only here in the District of Columbia in Marshall Heights, we also have them across the region in Prince George's County, Prince William County, Montgomery County, and Fairfax County in the Alexandria corridor and the Route 1 corridor in Alexandria. We know that we can do this work. We know that many of you have come today looking for information, looking for contacts, and I want to encourage you to make the most of this opportunity that you've been given. We also want you to bring your genius to us. This brain trust can only work if more brains get added, but there has to be trust of the brains who are at the table. There has to be equity of the brains we have at the table as well. So while we look to the future, and we know that the future is indeed bright, we want you to know that the ever-changing needs that are with us will continue to be with us until we all work ourselves out of a job. So let's convene our corporate partners, our community organizations, our policymakers, our individuals, and anyone or entity that values practicing equity. Together, we're going to continue to break down the barriers and have opportunities that are truly available to all. We want you to know that we deeply respect the work that's being done here today. We will do what we can do. You have our commitment as your United Way to offer the best of economic opportunities, to build robust and stable workforces with wages and benefits that push them above the bottom line. We believe that that's important. Workforce is important, but with livable wages. Let me say that again, livable wages. And we also need equity and access to some of the higher order, higher thinking, higher paying jobs that we happen to have here in the District of Columbia. So in closing, I want to invite you to join us, your United Way, on a journey. It's our journey of where we want to create a more equitable society, where everyone has the opportunity in our community to fair and equal access to health, education, and economic opportunity. We believe that when none are ignored, all will thrive. When none are ignored, all will thrive. So I want you to make the most of today. You're in for a treat. Please be in this moment. I know you got a lot of things on your mind, and as small business owners, your mind is probably back at the shop, but you took the time to be here today, and I want it to be worth your time. We want this to be meaningful. And so on behalf of your United Way and all of the Brain Trust that's here today, I want to thank you. Thank you for taking the time, for caring enough, and for bringing your genius to the citizens of the District of Columbia. I'm powered up. Are you? All right. Thank you.
I am powered up, so thank you so much. That was incredible. So now we go ahead and kick off some of the nuts and bolts. This is what you're here to do. This is what you're here to learn and hear from. This opening plenary session is pathways to accessing capital, contracts, and procurement opportunities in a new era. And to do that, we have two wonderful moderators. I want to go ahead and introduce to you the Commissioner of the Department of Insurance, Securities, and Banking, Commissioner Karima Woods. Thank you so much. Come on out. She is responsible for cultivating a regulatory environment that protects consumers, attracts and retains financial service firms to the district, and empowers and educates residents on financial matters and provides a financing for you all, small businesses. And her co-moderator, I want to introduce, is Eris Scales. Come on out, Eris. Oh, she's right up here. The CEO of the Walker's Legacy Foundation. She is a champion of women entrepreneurs and the underinvested communities in the public, private, and the not-for-profit sectors. And she has 20 years of experience in leadership at both the local and national levels, addressing racial and gender inequities. So I want to thank you for joining me and welcoming these very two powerful women who will moderate you through the next panel.
Good morning, everyone. I am pleased to be here, and I'm pleased to be joined by my co-moderator, Ms. Eris Scales, CEO of the Walker's Legacy Foundation. But before I get started, I heard Dr. Boyd in the background. I know you all are powered up and ready to go and engaged. And so we're hoping that this is a fun-filled conversation. If there's anything that is shared that piques your interest, by all means, feel free to jot down your questions, because we will have time towards the end of the panel for Q&A. So with that, we can go ahead and get started. Good morning again. Welcome to the 7th annual POWERUP DC Small Business Summit. I think I've participated in just about all the POWERUPs since their inception. And so it's good to be here. I know last year, the last 2 years, we were virtual, so it's great to see you in person and live. As I mentioned, I'm joined by my co-host, Miss Eris Scales, and I am going to ask Eris if you can come over here and join me, because we have a field panel, and I know that all of them are going to be taking up these seats here.
We're winging it, guys. We're winging it.
That's right. That's right. Excellent. So we recognize during this panel, the panel title is Pathways to Accessing Capital, Contracts, and Procurement Opportunities in a New Era. And I think it's fair to say that we truly are in a new era. So there's a lot of information, a lot of resources that we want to share with all small businesses to ensure that they are equipped, empowered, engaged, and know how to not only develop their small business, but grow and expand their small businesses. Again, I want to thank you. We're going to go ahead and bring out our experts and thought leaders. We have a pretty robust panel, and we want to make sure that we give them time to talk with you about the resources that they have available. So I will briefly introduce our local and federal government partners, if that's okay. And then, Eris, you could introduce our private sector partners.
Got it.
Does that work?
That works.
Excellent. So our first panelist is George Shutter, Chief Procurement Officer for the DC Government Office of Contracts and Procurement. Welcome, George. Our second panelist is Larry Webb here. Excellent. Welcome, Larry Webb. Larry Webb is the District Director with the Small Business Administration's Washington Metropolitan Area Office. Our next panelist is the Sabangely Cook, Director of Business Development and Strategy in the Office of the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development. And our last government representative is Aaron Fenwick, SSBCI Program Administrator with the Department of Insurance, Securities, and Banking. Thank you.
Fantastic. Good morning, everyone. Let me see some energy. How you feeling? Y'all want to get this money? Y'all want to get these contracts? Okay, that's right. So again, I'm Eris Scales, and I'm so excited to be here. Just more than a year and a half ago, I was on the other side as a government employee out here advocating, making sure that small businesses, nonprofits had access to capital and resources. And so it's really great to now lead an organization that represents the fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs in the country, which is Black women, all right? Let's give it up. And one of the things that we know at Walker's Legacy, and even in the public sector, is that we actually cannot do this alone, right? That we really need collaboration and partnerships from the private sector and the philanthropic community. So I am delighted at this time to introduce our representatives from the private sector and the corporate community. So without further ado, the Rosie Allen Herring, representing United Way. We are also joined by Darla Harris, who is a senior business consultant with JP Morgan Chase. Hey, Darla. Daryl Peak, head of federal strategic partnerships with Google. Hey, Daryl. And last and certainly not least, Francesca Lofretta, who is the Vice President of Inclusive Growth and Talent Initiatives. That is a mouthful, with the Greater Washington Partnership. All right, so look at that. If you don't get some money and contracts out of this group, I don't know why you're here, okay? We got a whole lineup right here. So afterwards, make sure you bombard them.
I think so.
So how do you want to kick off?
Well, I think we can just jump right in and make sure that we give everyone a chance to introduce themselves directly.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So can we just start here with the fabulous lady in red, and we'll work our way down? Who are you? What do you do? And what's most important for those businesses in the room?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rosie Allen Herring, and I am President and CEO of Your United Way. And it really is important. What were you asking us to say again?
They want to know, how do they do business with you? So what is the most important thing for them to know as it relates to the work that you're doing with small businesses?
Well, I think it's really important that we can do business together in terms of us supporting what you're doing as small businesses and being able to connect you sometimes with resources, be it corporate and or other like-minded nonprofits for leverage opportunities as well. It's not always just a one-way street. You have a lot to offer, and it should not just be in a product sense. So we're here to be able to connect the dots for you, to be able to offer additional supports to you, and hopefully be able to make some connections.
All right, good morning. My name is Aaron Fenwick. I'm with the Department of Insurance, Securities, and Banking, where I manage an access to capital program called DC BizCap. Really designed to assist small business owners in getting the capital that they need. We're in an environment where a lot of it can be challenging to get loans from banks and lenders. Our program provides loan enhancements, is what I'll call them, to help you get that lending you need to grow, expand, or start your business.
And it's still morning. Good morning, everyone. Sabangely Cook, Director of Business Development and Strategy. Today, my role here is really to kind of share and inform about some of the resources. We have resources come in a variety of ways. I know the top of mine is, like Eric said, is money. But resources come in a variety of ways, connecting you to other partners, connecting you to other agencies, acting as a liaison, identifying where there are common synergies with different employers, businesses, organizations, things of that nature. So we do a variety of things. I'm not going to go through the litany of those so we can get down this list and get into the meat and taters of it all. But that's what I'm more interested in talking about today, and plugging in that it's important for you to be ready so that you don't have to get ready.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Good morning, everybody. I'm George Shutter. I can't start without saying just what an amazing venue here, right? The library here, what a great reflection of what the district does in supporting our community and our residents. It's an amazing building. If you haven't had a chance to walk around, please do. But I'm George Shutter. I'm the Chief Procurement Officer of the District of Columbia. I'm also the Director of the Office of Contracting and Procurement. In the district, we have about 85 agencies, from the police department to transportation. The Office of Contracting and Procurement supports 79 client agencies to do the contracting function for those agencies. So we procure, this year we're on track for about $8.2 billion of services. Small and local businesses are critical to the district, or critical to how we support the district. Having done a lot of work in a lot of states and jurisdictions around the country, the district is a jurisdiction with our laws and our requirements, where any requirements under $250,000 are set aside for local businesses. Any requirements above $250,000, we have a 35% set aside for small businesses, certified businesses in the district. So today, happy to answer any questions that you have. I really want you to think about, how do you get an account, how do you get trained, and how do you get educated on doing business with the district. Today, certainly here, I have Cody and Sissy that are here with me as well to answer any questions. We also have two superstars, Will Giles and Dorothy Hale, two very experienced contracting officers with the district who navigated quite a bit of our emergency procurements in the health area over the last couple of years of COVID, and they'll be here to do one-on-ones with you this afternoon. And just excited to be here and any support that you need.
Well, good morning. Thank you so much for having me here this morning. I have to say,
first and foremost, I would be remiss if I did not say happy National Small Business Week to all the small business owners in the room. I'm also exceedingly happy to be here this morning because this is my first Power Up DC.
All
right. Antonio Doss, who is my predecessor as the district director of the Washington Metropolitan Area District Office, spoke earlier, and he has been with the agency for a long time. I was with the agency for 10 years before starting this position as an attorney, and so this is my first time doing this and meeting these folks and being in the field, as it were. I'm very excited to be here and to learn from all of the partners on this panel and the other speakers, so thank you. Very quickly, the SBA does three major things. We provide access to capital through underwriting so that banks, if they weren't not necessarily going to give a small business a loan, we underwrite that to a certain degree, 75 or 90%, to encourage that bank or that lending partner to provide access to capital. Two, we oversee government contracting. We'll talk later. And that, as he said, you know, they do it 35% in DC. Antonio spoke earlier about small disadvantage getting up to 15%. So that you know, the U.S. government is the largest buyer of goods in the world. Let me repeat that again.
Yes. Say it again. Yes.
Yes, let me say it again.
Exactly.
The U.S. government is the largest procurer of services in the world. They buy everything. If you sell it, they likely will be buying it. So what you need to do is put yourself in a position so that you can sell those goods. For the small disadvantaged businesses, that's the 8A program that we have and that provides set-asides. So you're not competing against the bigs, you're just competing against each other. That's women's certification, that's veteran certification, that's service-disabled, that's Hub Zone. There are lots of opportunities both at the federal level and the local level. And so your homework as a small business owner is to avail yourself of that, which leads me to the third thing that we do, which is education and resource partnering. We provide free services, as Antonio said earlier, one-on-one mentoring through a variety of different resource partners. We have a women's business center. Do you have to be a woman to go to it? Absolutely not. But maybe having a woman or having a women's ideology around starting a small business is more helpful than maybe going somewhere else. If you're a vet, we have veterans business opportunity and outreach centers. Do you have to be a vet? Yeah, to go to those. But once again, you know, I had a conversation with a veteran recently, and he was trying to start businesses in where he toured. And it didn't make any sense to other to other resource partners. They were like, why would you want to do that? But veterans understood that's where his network was. And as small business owners, you know your network is everything, right? And so those are the three things we do. I won't take too much time. Access to capital, government contracting, and counseling. So thank you for having me, and I look forward to answering any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Darla Harris, and I am a senior business consultant with JP Morgan Chase. And this is my first Power Up DC as well, so I'm excited to be here. But I'm really excited to be here to share Small Business Week with all of you. And just really seeing all of you in the audience just warms my heart. I have over 43 years banking experience and have spent a lot of my time in various roles. But one of my favorite roles was when I was a business banker. And as I joined Chase in June of 2018, we started to talk about business and business development and how we can really go back and help the business owners navigate through where they are and meet them at their place of business so that we can help their business continue to grow or sustain. So part of the $30 billion commitment that we announced at JP Morgan Chase, that is also to help our Black and brown minorities with home ownership, financial literacy, and small business, and that's where I come in. So we have, thank you.
30 billion.
So I don't have any money in my pocket, but yeah. But that's where I come in, is I'm that human capital that will work with the business owners, and we are looking to do 750,000 back in procurement with some of the business owners, 15,000 loans up to the $2 billion. So it's segmented to where we started this in 2019, and we have about 20 senior business consultants across the country that works with minority entrepreneurs. And we work in 5 different categories. So we do a lot of education, one-on-one coaching. It is a 6-month program, but I actually meet with the business owners, do a full analysis on the business so that I can understand where they are and how I can help them. And my whole goal is when I meet with that business owner, when I leave them in 6 months, I've left them in a much better place. So we talk about access to capital. We talk about navigating cash flow, business operations, operations management, and then your team of advisors. And at first I think people will say, well, my #1 goal is access to capital. But I actually think it's your team of advisors. Who's your CPA? Who's your banker? Who's your attorney? You need to have them in your back pocket, because if they don't understand your business, they can't help your business grow, sustain, or maintain. And so when we work together, we're going to really dive deep. We may pull the onion back, as they say. We may have some hard questions that you don't like, that I don't like, but we're going to really get to know each other. And so that's what we're doing here at Chase, and I just actually love my role. We have a lot of resources that I can help you with, and I'm just looking forward to this conversation today to learn more about what the panelists have to say, and thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Darrell Peak. I am head of Federal Strategic Partnerships at Google Cloud. But before I get started with my comments, I'm just impressed to be with such an amazing panel. And I'm also the grandson of small business owners. My grandmother owned a thrift shop in Philadelphia, and both my grandfathers were handymen. And realizing and appreciating the fact that you all have to serve as back office, front office, or we can say all office of your organization. So I really appreciate all that you do and how you contribute to our local communities. One of the things that I'm really excited about in regards to working at Google is that it gives you the opportunity to see the impact that's being made. Google is very focused on small businesses and helping to really organize the world's data globally. But the thing that I was excited, and how many of you have used Google? How many of you used Google this morning? Google Maps? Hopefully you got redirected for the faster route, because it took me a while to get in. So as far as one of the resources that I would ask that you look into right now is Google for Small Business. There you can create a business profile. You can also work on creating your website if you do not have a website. You can also get your email. Now, most of us use Gmail, and you can use your business at Gmail. But for $6 a month, you can get a personalized email as well. So that's really important. And also how to leverage email marketing to make sure that the word gets out. The way that I'm going to go to the next layer is I work at organization within Google. So you heard of YouTube, Fitbit, Maps, Chrome, Pixel, Chromebooks, right? Those are all companies within Alphabet. I work in Google Cloud, and where we work with the federal government to secure contracts. So my role as head of Federal Strategic Partnership is I work with system integrator partners, which are the large partners, but also the small business partners and socioeconomic partners. And I work with our technology partners. Some of them you may work with, some of them you may not. Cybersecurity, AI, ML, CRM, those are some of the products that we work with. And we like to work with small businesses and identify small businesses that have socioeconomic categories, as well as that have skill sets. One of the things that I realize and I get excited about is when I work with some of our small business partners, they have such expertise that they're bringing to the table. I don't have to maneuver through the bureaucracy of a large business in order to find that person that can answer my question on how to get the outcome that we're trying to achieve. So one of the things that I'm really excited about is talking with all of you. And really just giving you more exposure. But then learning about you. What contract vehicles are you associated to? Do you have 8A stars? Do you have Alliant? Do you have Oasis? Do you have CIOSP3? Those are contract vehicles within the federal government that gives you access to that goal. And then the other thing to think about is the infrastructure bill that came out, and the goal is to increase small business contracts by 50% by 2025. So being able to understand what those opportunities are and how to get you and your company access to those opportunities is very important, and I am glad to be here to represent Google and talking with all of you, and I'm happy to answer questions as they come up. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm thrilled to be here with you all today and to be among such esteemed panelists. It's exciting to see the energy and passion in the crowd, and I think that's what makes this region such a dynamic and thriving ecosystem. My name is Francesca Iofreda, and I'm the Vice President for Inclusive Growth and Talent Initiatives at the Greater Washington Partnership. For those who may not be familiar, the Greater Washington Partnership is a CEO-led civic alliance of the region's largest employers. We're committed to making the capital region, from Baltimore to Richmond, the best place to live, work, and start a business. We have over 45 of the region's largest employers, folks like JP Morgan, Capital One, Under Armour, Deloitte, at our table. And together, we're working to advance shared prosperity and economic development. We focus on three major areas: transportation, skills and talent, and inclusive growth. As Rosie mentioned at the beginning, and Rosie is one of our board members, COVID-19 exacerbated structural inequities, and in the wake of George Floyd's murder, our partner organizations, like so many others across the nation, realized that the private sector could do more to lean in to advance shared prosperity and create economic opportunity for historically underserved populations. One of our core focus areas was creating a supportive ecosystem for diverse businesses, because we know that small businesses are the lifeblood of our economy and suffer disproportionately as a result of the pandemic. So with that focus in mind, on March 30th, alongside Vice President Kamala Harris, U.S. Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo, and SBA Administrator Isabella Guzman, the partnership announced a $4.7 billion commitment over the next 5 years to advancing inclusive growth. Thank you. That $4.7 billion breaks down into three key buckets. The first is supplier diversity commitments. $2.6 billion of our organization's investments, or over half of that figure, will go towards diverse procurement spend in this region. $619 million will go towards supporting community development financial institutions and minority depository institutions that provide needed capital and technical assistance for the communities most in need. And lastly, $1.5 billion will go towards supporting broader racial equity investments. So you may be wondering, what does this mean for me and how do I get involved? At its core, what it means is more contracts, a renewed focus, and greater opportunities. We look forward to creating a supportive ecosystem for all of your business so that you can take advantage of these procurement contracts and we can be that connective tissue. Thank you again.
Thank you all, and you all have shared a lot thus far, so we'll jump right in. We heard from Darla the importance of having a team of advisors before accessing capital. I believe it was Director Cook who said businesses need to be ready and not get ready. So let's dive into that a little bit more. If you all can share a little bit more about how businesses can access capital. We hear about the importance of that. We know businesses need access to capital, but if you could dive into that a little bit more, how can small businesses access capital? And why don't we start with you, Darla?
Thank you so much. When I think about access to capital, what I really would like to do is understand each individual business that I'm working with. I need to be able to look at your financial picture, business and personal together, and then we kind of take some numbers. We want to know cash flow. We want to know what the need is that you're looking for the capital. Is it a line of credit? Is it a loan? What are you going to use it for? So there's a lot that goes into that access to capital, but you really need to understand what your financial picture looks like first, and then have a conversation with your banker along with your CPA so that we can understand how we can then help you. We have the traditional loans where you're going through banking. We have loans where we have our community development institutions, CDFIs, and then there's also some grants available, and then we have like SBA. So I really would be able to understand where you are, and on a one-on-one consultation, then we would get into like, here's the avenues where you can go, and then we lead you in a good direction. And I've got a lot of experience looking at business financials. I've worked with business owners that have business revenue anywhere from 100,000 up to 50 million in business revenue. So I'm really good at accessing your financial picture and then going from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Cook?
Thank you, Commissioner Woods. And so when I think about access to capital, the first thing I'm going to ask you all to do, if you don't remember things quickly, just write it down. Obviously, dc.com. This is where all of the grant opportunities, funding opportunities that I'm getting ready to talk about in a second are all on that site. You just go into funding opportunities and you'll see some existing programs right now. And so in thinking about access to capital, what our office has been doing in the last 2.5 years or so, we've been playing this hybrid kind of fashion. We have been deploying dollars to help businesses in a relief fashion, and then also grants for businesses that are growing, so capital improvement or whatnot. And so there are two different kinds of grants that we have been deploying, upward of about 300 million in the last 2.5 years, and about 8 million of it right now out on the street. So I invite you to take advantage of some of that, because a lot of you all are probably eligible for the existing programs that we have right now. So obviously dc.com is where it is. The existing programs that are currently open right now, we have a small medium business growth fund program. We're awarding upward of $5 million to small businesses, whether you are a retailer, professional services, tech company, maybe you're a business that has a development project that you're deploying. It's kind of like 4 grants in one. If you are a light manufacturer and you're interested in that, this fund here is probably one of our most flexible in terms of the universe of types of businesses that are eligible. That's why I say I encourage you, if you're in this room, please go take a look. There are information sessions that are taking place. My colleague who is outside, she'll be happy to provide you any information that you might need. But that is one grant program that is out right now. There's another one. It's our Inclusive Innovation Equity Impact Fund. We just had a press announcement about it yesterday. Our first round of investments were $1.25 million to 16 businesses. They got awards from $30,000 to $150,000. And our fund manager through 1863 Ventures, led by Melissa Bradley, she runs that program for us and continues to invest. The second round of applications are open now. That is on our website right now. If you are someone in the creative space, you do content, you do production shows, our other agency partner through OCTFME has a program that's called Encore. That's also on the site. It's an opportunity for you to create experiences for all of us to consume here in the DMV. Right? And so that is another opportunity that is open. I would be remiss if I didn't also mention through my other awesome partner, through the Department of Small and Local Business Development, they also have a program. It is called Robust Retail. I think you guys heard that, retail. So that means if you are a retailer, you want to apply for this opportunity as well. That is on the site. I believe that one stays open until June. So all of these opportunities are available right now. The total, if I cobble it together, that's about $8 million that's out on the street, right? You don't want to leave any of that money on the table. Some of these are competitive opportunities, others are more in a relief fashion. So again, when we're thinking about access to capital, and everybody's like, I need some money, I want some of that. I strongly encourage you, based on what I've seen in the last 2 years, everybody wants something, but you got to get ready. Every application, 9 times out of 10, is asking for the same information. They just want it sliced up a little differently, right? So what I encourage you to do is, what are some of the basic things that you know every application is going to ask for? Not just on the district side, I'm talking about from foundations. My queen over here from Rosie, everybody is literally gonna ask you in some shape or form for the same things, which means you have to have your financials ready, right? If you owe something, let's make sure we get you taken care of, right? Take advantage of all of the resources that people are talking about today. They're free one-on-one coaching. They're gonna say some things you don't like, they're gonna say some things you do like, right? It only makes you stronger and better, and if you're serious, we need for you to take advantage of these opportunities, right? These opportunities, it seems like there's a lot of it out here, but trust me, I don't know, and I don't know if you all have a looking glass, how long is this gonna last? Right? Let's take advantage of the moment right now. The conversation is about creating opportunities for everyone to have a seat at the table and not be on the menu, right? That may not last as long as you think it is. So just because you hear this now does not mean it's coming back around next year, right? So I encourage you, based on what I've seen, and trust me when I tell you, we have seen about 20,000 applications in the last 2.5 years. With the monies that we're deploying, there are lots of businesses that are not ready. Please be ready so that we can give you this money. We're dying to give it to you, but we can't give it to you for no reason, right? We need to know you're serious. You need to bring something to the table. We need to know that you have skin in your own game, right? Who's going to give you money if you aren't serious about your own business? That's right. Yes? Does that make any sense?
Yes, all the
It's
sense.
really important that you make sure that you are ready, because right now there is still money rolling out, and it's not just from government. It's coming from everywhere. You want to be ready so that you can just submit applications and keep being great. That is it.
Sabangely, you're actually going down a path that I wanted to go a little deeper with. Because we often hear, you know, access to capital. We need more money, we need more money. And sometimes I say something that's not so popular, where I go, there's a lot of capital that's out there. I mean, there's a lot of money that's available. It's really about, do we have those things in place?
Right.
But also, are our partners creating programs and tools and products that are responsive to the market? So two things, right? And that's from our private sector folks who go, hey, we just created a new line of credit, or we got a new, and I'm like, yeah, but the credit score that you look for doesn't necessarily align with where the majority of, you know, minority businesses are. So it's twofold. I want to go a little more, though, around being ready and what some of those basic things are. We just heard about billions of dollars from a collective. We hear George talking about contract opportunities and David with the federal government. What are just 1, 2, 3, you know, one thing that you would recommend people need to have in place, 2 things that they could be doing to be ready?
yeah.
Want to start, Rosie? I hear you, yeah.
No, that is the truth. Get ready. Be ready. And part of it was what my brother and sister were sharing. It's really about taking advantage of the technical assistance. A lot of times people say, well, I know my product and I just want to sell it, and everybody should want it because I like it. and you have to be ready. And the technical assistance is, you know, to my colleague from JP Morgan Chase, when she talked about what they're looking at, it is an inordinate amount of dollars that are available, but you have to be worthy of those dollars. And being worthy of those dollars is not simply saying you should invest in me. It's saying that I've done my homework, that I understand my market, I understand my business, that I have taken advantage of understanding my finances. I'm not necessarily, I won't call it robbing Peter to pay Paul, because most small businesses do. That's not a sin. It's a sin when you don't pay your bills. It's a sin when you don't fulfill your obligations, when you are not true to the work that you say you're doing. How will someone choose to invest in you? Understand the difference between a grant and a loan. There's a difference. One says, we believe in you and we want you to go off and do what we think that you can do best. And another one says, yes, we believe in you, but we want you to pay us back. And so it's understanding what the difference between the two. So I would say a part of being ready and getting ready is taking advantage of technical assistance. And to my sister's point, who shared, you may be looking just at the dollar. I don't want to hear about all of that other stuff, just give me the money. But that won't always help you, because even if you get it the first time, it's not sustainable if they don't come back. So you want a sustainable business that's going to be in business 6 months from now, that's going to be in business a year from now, that's going to be in business 5 to 10 years from now. So sustainability is the key, which means you have to constantly grow yourself and learn yourself. So take advantage of a lot of times free technical assistance that helps you get your financial house in order, your legal house in order, and your business house in order as well.
Thank you. And what I'd say is, you know, we're sitting in a marketplace where we hear a lot about all the money that's coming out, but the Census Bureau just put out a report that says there's 5.4 billion new applications for small businesses in the United States. That's more than has ever happened, and it's mainly stemming from the pandemic. You know, folks who have been transitioned out of jobs or decide, I want to start my own business. So anytime you look at a new venture or new opportunity, I believe you've got to start first at personal development. And I think that holds true with an individual as well as a small business, right? We heard a lot about, you know, the partners and the technical assistance. Take advantage of those things. You know, when you go and you knock on the door of a lender and you ask them, you know, I'm looking for some money, they're going to ask you some specific questions. Credit score is going to be one of them, but it certainly isn't going to be the most important. And it's certainly not going to make a loan if you don't have what they call cash flow. Right. Cash flow comes from contracts. It comes from historical revenue. So these are all things that you've got to have an understanding of when you go to look for business. When you're getting a small business loan, and a little bit about my history, I've been in commercial banking for about 20 years, most of that time being giving access to capital to small business owners just like yourself, for banks and now the government. But they want to know how they're going to get their money back. Do you have historical revenue that you can show that you can pay this loan that you're looking to get? Do you have contracts that can justify the funding that you're looking to obtain? Those are all very important aspects. And if you don't have those things today, it's about aligning yourself with the partners who can help you get those, but then planning your business, right? Making sure you have the plans in place. With the Department of Insurance, Securities, and Banking, we run a access to capital program, as I was stating before, and it was established in 2010 after the 2008 economic downturn. Here we are in another economic downturn. The goal really is to fund small businesses so they can do what they do. They can improve our economy, create jobs, bring products and things to the marketplace. But again, you know, as we're talking about your business specifically, or as you're thinking about your business specifically, and the goals that you have for your business, you know, one, do a reality check. Are you where you need to be? And then secondly, what do I need to do to get there? And real planning goes into that. It's not, you know, fly by the night type of thing. Most lenders are going to want to see a robust business plan, and the business plan is going to tell them a lot about, number one, your ability and capacity to operate, but then also how serious you are about your business.
I think, you know what, to add to that, I'm so glad he said that, your business plan. When I talk about getting ready, I have two questions for the businesses here. Has COVID impacted your business directly or indirectly? If the answer is yes, then it might be an opportunity to take a look at the business plan that you set up long time ago. Time to dust that off, take a look at it, look at your value statement, look at what do your projections look like, how are you going to generate revenue now? If you've been impacted directly or indirectly by the pandemic, and actually that was two, there were two pandemics that are going on. We have a health one, and we also have a social, racial one as well. So there were two. But if you've been impacted by that, then let's make sure that you dust off that business plan that has your projections, who's your customer, exploring what is that customer, what is your value add, all of those things. The meat and taters of that literally is the foundation for everything you would submit in an application, your financials, all of that, everything that any lender, organization that's considering giving you a grant, no matter how big or small, if you have that ready, robust, ready to go, then you will never have to get ready. So I think that would be the biggest thing. If you've been impacted, then it's time to probably dust off that business plan. And if you don't have one, it's important that you start one now. And there are resources here in this building to certainly help you do that as well.
Thank
And
you for
I'll
that,
just follow behind
Sabangely.
that if I can, because that's a very good point. You want to go ahead?
Yes,
Okay.
we're a little up against time, and
Oh.
clearly we need at least another hour for this conversation. That's what's clear.
We're all ready to go.
I know you are. I know you are. I know you're ready to jump right in. I want to first see, is there a burning question from the audience that someone has? No burning question?
One in the corner.
Obviously, DC. ObviouslyDC.com.
Obviously, DC.
Obviously.
That's
.com.
just one site, yeah, obviouslydc.com.
Great. So I know that there probably, is there another question? Okay, great. Can you repeat the question?
That's not a grant.
It's not my understanding that grants have to be paid back. It's primarily the loans that have to be paid back. Is there anyone who wants to briefly speak to that?
Yeah.
The loans that have to be paid back. Great.
Gentleman over there in the corner.
.com? No, .com, C-O-M. ObviouslyDC.com. It's not .gov.
No,
And it's
normally-
obviously,
They're normally looking at .gov.
It's .com. It's not .gov. Obviously DC, yes, that's the entire word. Obviously DC together.com. It's not .gov.
Just tell them it's separate from the government.
And I'm happy to
Yes.
send it to you.
and that's OBVIOUSLYDC.com.
Yeah.
Question?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Everybody has a staff. Mm-hmm.
Right? So, I mean, would it behoove me to apply for said grant if I'm going through the steps, or you really want us to have everything fully realized before?
That's a fantastic question. Overall, my general statement is everybody just needs to get ready, right? So you don't have to ever, just be ready. But for you, Lovely, you're starting a business. There are different grants for different kinds of businesses in different stages of their business, but I'm happy to explore exactly what's available to you right now based on what we have, at least on this side. So we can certainly run through those and take a look out in the hall if you don't mind. So let's just circle up, that's fine.
I'd like to also follow up on that,
Yeah.
to piggyback on that.
There are opportunities.
I've had the fortune this week of meeting with some small business winners. And one of those things came up. Everybody approaches this different, but we were talking about, if you get into the 8A program, which is a government contracting set-aside program, and some people dived in hard. As soon as they could, they dived in, and then they sort of went through the process, and it maybe took 2-3 years before they got that prime contract. Someone else talked about the fact that, what he did is he worked for Biggs, he went through the process, he got name recognition, people knew him, people knew that his quality of work, and so as soon as he got his 8A, he had a contract within a month. And so it really is how you do it, but it gets back to that, how you're going to get ready, right? How are you going to get ready? I would just add this one last thing, because I may not have another opportunity before he slows down. Everybody, I think about business owners to some degree, and some of you may find this insulting, as artists. You have this passion, right? You have this passion for this idea that you have, this solution that you're bringing to the table. And what you need to know is funders don't have that passion that you necessarily have. They're about a business of funding you either through grants or loans, and so you need to come to them, once again, ready. And that ready is knowing your business, being able to describe your business, support your business, explain your business, both verbally and on paper, so that that person knows I'm going to get from this interaction what I bargained for, right? If you are making cakes and someone says, I want 3 cakes, they show up, you give them 3 cakes, right? If you are asking for a loan, the bank is expecting a cake, right? They're expecting that every month you give them some cake, right? And if you can't do that, the grantor is expecting you to provide the services that you said the grant was going to do. So whatever that is, that's the cake. And if you can't do that, then you're not ready yet, right? And so it's about getting ready. Hopefully that analogy works. I didn't think about it too much before I said it.
Oh my God, we have one last pressing question in the back. Can we do this one last question? We can do one last question, and then we will give you time to come and ask questions directly of the panelists, and I know George wanted to jump in there too. So we really are short on time and have a video to show. So your question. Walker's Legacy.
Walker's Legacy.
They got a women's business center.
Women's business center.
Women's business center.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody here could probably give you a list of places to start.
Yeah.
I just want to say this is all so exciting, right? And getting ready for business, I think, is super important. But I did want to let everybody know the district is open for business. We will be acquiring $8.2 billion this year of equipment, services, and construction.
Say it again. Say it.
$8.2 billion of equipment, services, and construction that we will acquire this year for the District of Columbia. Last year, the district, we are focused on our local businesses. We're focused on small businesses. Last year, the district awarded $1.4 billion of prime contracts to district-certified businesses. Let me say it again. $1.4 billion of prime contracts to district local businesses. That's in addition to the subcontracting that I was mentioning before. When you're ready for business, think about getting an account, getting trained, and getting educated. Getting an account, getting set up in the district with your account with the right commodity codes so that when we solicit, you're getting those solicitations. So getting an account, working with the district, working with the ombudsman. On the district ocp.dc.gov, there's a step-by-step process for local businesses on how you get certified, how you get an account with the district. So get an account, get trained. Every month, we provide 2 open forums. One is generally how you do business with the district, and the other is how you establish a district supply schedule. That's a go-to place where we're buying equipment and services in the district. So getting that training. Thirdly, get educated. We have an amazing transparency portal in the district. We put all of our contracts that are awarded up there. I've been in business. I've been on the other side of the table. I love it. You've got an opportunity in that transparency portal to look at the contracts that are awarded right now. What's the pricing that is currently being paid? What are the services? When is that period of performance going to end? When do I need to have myself, my business, and my partners ready to bid on that next solicitation? We have an ombudsman that you can meet with personally that will spend time with you in your business, understanding commodity codes, educating on agencies that are buying the goods and services that you produce. So get an account, get trained, get educated, and let's do some business.
Great, thank you. Fantastic, great information. So we do have to come to an end. I do apologize. We didn't get a chance to dive into partnerships. I see you pointing, Larry, I know. And we didn't get a
technology.
chance to get
My
back to
goodness.
Francesca and also Daryl. Please feel free to ask them questions afterwards. I do want to have a chance to pass the microphone over back to Linda. But again, thank you for this panel. On behalf of Mayor Bowser, I say thank you. I know valuable resources have been shared, obviously dc.com. Also want to plug in my organization, disb.dc.gov. That's disb.dc.gov. And please make sure you get contact information. And again, thank you to the Walker Legacy Foundation.
Absolutely. Woo, thank you.
Thank you. Great. So Rosie, Aaron, Sabangely, George, Larry, Darla, Daryl, and Francesca, thank you all.
And lastly, I just want to say on behalf of Walker's Legacy, thank you again for allowing us to be part of this. If you are a woman business owner, or if you're an aspiring woman business owner here in the district, please check us out. Again, it's Walker's Legacy Foundation. We are inspired, we are driven by the legacy of Madam C.J. Walker, the first, not just black, but the first self-made woman millionaire in this country. And we're committed to creating the next generation of legacy makers and cultivating that with women. So we have a business accelerator program right now that we're running across the country. We have a DC cohort. We'll be doing a national convening in the fall. We have some POWERUP brunches that are happening. So anything to empower and work and support women, we are here for you. And anyone who wants to partner with us, please feel free to partner with us as well. Thank you so much, Linda, for the opportunity.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been a great panel. I thank each of you for being here today. We are behind schedule, as you know, but that's what we do sometimes. I wanted to tell you that in terms of your tracks, Track A will be meeting here in this room. Track B will be in 401A, that's out this door right here. Track C, 401E, also out this room. And track F, which is for women-owned businesses, 401F, F is in Frank. And so we're going to try to get through your panels so you can talk to, I know you want to talk to some of the people here as well. I would say to you that lunch will start about 12:15 in the event space upstairs. Please get as much information as you can because we want you to boost up for Power Up. We failed to show the greeting from the director. Candace, you have that ready? Very quickly to show that. Roger, you leaving me? Roger Moskowitz? Okay. All right.
Good morning. My name is Mila Kaufman. I'm the Executive Director of the DC Health Benefit Exchange Authority. We're responsible for DC Health Link, the Affordable Care Act online health insurance marketplace here in DC. We cover about 100,000 people, and that includes more than 5,300 employers, small businesses and nonprofits, their employees and their dependents. And since we've opened for business on October 1, 2013, we've helped to cut the uninsured rate in DC by half. So now more than 96% of district residents have health coverage. And we know that health insurance is just one of several very important factors for any employer. And that's why an idea we had back in 2015, PowerUp DC, has been so important, and we've been able to bring it to you year after year. We want to make sure that every year we provide small businesses and entrepreneurs and nonprofits with the kind of information they need, the kind of resources they need, actionable information, and that we are a resource for the employer community. So every year we host Power Up DC, and I just want to say how much I appreciate Dr. Linda Wharton-Boyd for putting another successful Power Up DC together this year, and how much I appreciate and my entire executive board appreciates the brain trust. The brain trusts are experts that we've put together to help us come up with the agenda. And I just want to call some of them out to you. We have the DC Chamber of Commerce. We have the Greater Washington Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We have the Restaurant Association, Metropolitan Washington. We have the Small Business Administration. We have sister agencies. We have community partners, university partners. So thank you to each of you for putting together such a thoughtful agenda that's actionable with such incredible panel discussions and speakers. So I just want to say this year we are doing something new. And we are hosting both an in-person PowerUp DC as well as virtual PowerUp DC. We recognize how important it is for entrepreneurs and employers to have in-person opportunities to build their networks and grow their networks. And we also realize that for some of you, having a virtual event is just more accessible, so we're having both. So whether you're with us here in person or you're with us virtually, thank you for participating and being with us, and have a great PowerUp DC 2022.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's make it to our tracks very quickly. These panelists are here to greet you, to give you additional information. And so we ask you to go to those very quickly. Thank you. Out this door. You go to this door.
Panelists,
Thank you, David. Thank you.
panelists, leave your microphones on the chairs, please. Panelists, place your lapels on the chairs, please. Thank you. All panelists, please place your microphones on the chairs, please.
Okay. Track A startup is in this room. Stay in this room if you're in track A.
Panelists, please leave your microphones on the chairs, please. Take your microphones off and put them on the chairs, please. Thank you.
Track C is 401E. Out this door, to the left. Go out that door and go to your right. Let me see. Track. Oh, I don't know these. All right, track F is in 401F. 401F for track D, that's the women-owned businesses. Track B, 401A. Let's hurry and get to your tracks. Yes, ma'am.
Panelists, please leave your microphones on the chairs, please. Thank you.
So people know where they have to go.
I'm going to get Rose's information real quick.
Okay, babe. Thank you so much for everything.
We're over.
You said 401B for the women?
Women's 401F is in Frank. That way. To go out there to your right. 401F.
All right, I just want to give you a hug. I'm
Diane! Diane, you look so so pretty.
Oh, well, you do too, Linda.
Oh, I'm trying.
All right, I'm going. You're doing a kick-ass job here. Wow, I noticed your heels came off, and we're early. Well, I'll see you at lunch. Where do I go for the track B?
Track B is in 401. A is in Apple. Go out this door right here. Go to your right.
Thank you.
Hey, Charles. Hey, how you doing? I've been here.
I know we were crazy too.
Yeah, I was sitting over there and I went downstairs and I came over. Yeah.
Let me put you with the other panelists. Yeah, so come over right here.
Yeah, uh-huh. Wait, hold on, I'm old.
I get it. Get the mic.
Okay.
Linda, so we're looking for guidance on, now it's 11:20, so how long do you want to break out? I'll tell them an hour.
All panelists, please leave your microphones on the chairs, please.
Okay, track. Track C is in 401. E as in Edward. Track B is 401A. Track D, women-owned business, is 401F as in Frank.
You going upstairs?
Please, all panelists, please leave your microphones on the chairs, please.
Track A for new business startup is right here in this room, so stay here. Stay here for track A. Okay, what you want, track? Hey, Aaron.
I'm looking for Linda.
Hey, it's Linda right here.
Linda, thank you so much for everything. This is David.
Okay. Oh, from Sonota. They my people. You know Sonota my
I
people.
know that. I know that.
That
I just
David.
want to tell you anything that I can do for you.
Oh.
That's why I'm giving you the card.
Thank
That's like
you,
a get out
David.
there. Anything I can do for you.
Wow, that's so
Okay?
nice of you. Thank you.
And thank you very much for your
I
support
enjoy and I
everything.
love Aaron. They just
He'll do
really
anything. He'll do
They help me
anything.
out.
Do they?
I
Good.
be in squeezes.
I told
And they
you,
be
you
helping
make
me
her
out.
look good.
They
You make Linda
that's
look
right.
good.
That's right. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? If you're a panelist, please leave your microphone on the chair, please.
For the lunch and take you to dinner, can we do that?
We can do that.
Wonderful.
Okay, we'll
Okay,
get together.
thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Linda. This is Paul. And I'm Paul.
Oh, I know
Nice
you,
to meet
Paul.
you in
know
person.
I know Paul.
Yeah, you look
How's
great.
your wife doing? Tell your wife I said hello.
I will,
We're in the same business.
I know,
Oh,
and
no.
how's your sister, right?
My niece is the
Your
vice
niece is
president of John Hopkins.
Right
Yeah.
on, yeah. No, my wife is doing well. Things are settling down
I'm
up there.
so glad y'all came out.
I know. This is our new joiner, Martin.
How you doing? I've been with Paul for since I can't even tell you when.
Absolutely,
And I be fighting them. They be telling me, you need to get a new vendor. I said, I can't find one.
We're here to support you.
I said, I gotta go with Sonota. I gotta go here.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Well, I don't know if I give you my card, but good to,
Great. Thank you, David. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Okay.
Talk to you soon. Very nice.
Track B is in. Okay, I've been trying to get these rooms. Track B is in 401A. A is in Apple.
Okay. Do you know what the topic for that is?
That's established business.
Established.
Okay, we ready to start track A in this room. If you're not in track A is ready to start. Which one?
Track E.
D?
E as an elephant.
Oh, track, E? I have a track A, B, C, and D. What's the name of it? Non-profit?
Please, if you're a panelist, can you please turn your mic in to the audio guy, please. We need it for the next session.
They in room.
Put your
B is
microphone on the podium, please.
Hold on, I don't know. When is it young? Oh, is this a startup? Are you doing a new startup?
This is young entrepreneurs.
Young entrepreneurs. Was the information good today?
It was.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
It's a lot, ain't it?
It is.
But if you can get it, you can get it. You can get that money.
We'll see.
Why not? Wait, let me ask her because she didn't send me that one. Hey, if I can get these people out of here, good, this right in here. Okay, the panelists for track A. Is this thing on? Thank you so much. If you're in track A, it's in this room. Ask the panelists to come forward for track A. Thank you, Boo. You did good. You did good. You did good. He's called. He got called, so he's in the room taking a phone call, a 30-minute phone call. He's right out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a panelist, please leave your microphone on the chairs, please. Please. Please go to track A. If you're not in track A, it's right here. Please, everybody take a seat, please. We're about to start, but we need... if you have a lapel microphone, please return it to us now, please. The track for panel A needs to take a seat, please. Thank you. Here in the auditorium. If you're a panelist in the last group, we need your microphone, please. Please, we need your lapel microphone, please. If you're a panelist from the last session, please turn your microphone into me. Now, please.
Can you take this plant with you? Can you put that plant on there too? I can put that on the stage in front of the microphone. Oh, okay. I'm around here somewhere. When you put this on the stage, you put this in the front. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling out there? Good? Amazing. Happy Small Business Week. So far, so good. Last session was amazing. Such a informative and insightful panel. And we're going to follow up with another informative and insightful panel. Hopefully, you'll be inspired. I want to welcome you all back to the 7th annual PowerUp DC Small Business Summit, where